I think we have the management of Titagarh Rail with us, Reema.
Yes, Titagarh Rail Systems is on our radar. In Q3, it was a muted performance for them. They were impacted by order execution delay. But the company has also announced its ventures into two new areas of growth. One of them is shipbuilding. They're present in it right now, but they want to expand it. And the second one is setting up safety and signaling systems. Umesh Chowdhary, Vice Chairman and Managing Director at Titagarh Rail Systems, is now with us on the show. Umesh, morning. Thank you for joining in. This is Reema here. So first, let's talk about these, two new growth areas. One is shipbuilding and maritime, where you're already present, but you want to expand it. So what's the current size and how much do you want to scale it up to, and what are the steps that you're taking? And secondly, in the safety and signaling systems, lay out your growth plans.
Sure. Good morning, Reema. So as far as the shipbuilding and maritime systems is concerned, we have done a number of vessels for the Indian Navy. We have done some vessels for the Indian Coast Guard with GRSE. We have also exported a vessel. We have done ocean research vessels, but they were all done in our yard in Titagarh, which has physical capacity constraints. There's the water draft and the air draft capacity constraint. So considering the policy initiatives of the government of India, which in the budget we heard about shipbuilding and maritime systems by the Honorable Finance Minister being said a number of times, the board decided that since we already have the pre-qualifications, we already have the necessary soft skills, etc., we should look at this as a growth area. When we took up the passenger rail system business expansion a couple of years ago, I had also on your channel said that we would not be making any capital allocation for next 1.5 to 2 years in the shipbuilding. But now that we have almost come to a completion of the passenger rail system investments, we thought that this can be the next engine for growth for the company. And that's how this is being set up. The plan is to set up another yard, maybe both in the eastern side and the western side. And we will come back with the announcements as the story develops.
What's the size of your shipbuilding and maritime business? Sorry, let's just finish
Sorry. So on the shipbuilding and maritime systems, we have an order book just about 300 crores. We are building about 10, 11 vessels for the Indian Navy as we speak, but these are smaller ones. And with this planned expansion, we would like to take up even the larger vessels. So as far as the scope, the growth potential of this is concerned, it is phenomenal because a very small percentage of the ships that actually, even for inland water or for specialized vessels that are operating today in India, a very small percentage is actually produced in India. And that's what the government is kind of emphasized. And we believe that the possibilities that exist in this sector are quite enormous. And having all the necessary skills, we believe we'll be able to make a very quick entry into this.
What's the capex you've earmarked?
We will announce that. We are still working on it. We've appointed the CEO. We've appointed the team. We are looking at the new yards, exploring at the different parts of the country where we would set up the new yards. So in due course, we would definitely, once the business plan is finalized, once the capex is approved by the board, we'll announce that.
And how soon, to your mind, once you complete all the setting up, the commissioning, how soon can it start generating revenues?
So the revenue will start generating immediately, but the ramp up will happen in a couple of years. So the revenue we are already generating because we have this is not a completely brand new business that we are starting. But those revenues are insignificant, I would say. So the meaningful revenue, I would say, would start getting generated from 2 to 3 years. But what is going to be important in the next 6 months is finalization of the infrastructure plans. And from the next 6 months to the next, say, 1.5 years from thereafter would be the order book that we can build up. So that's how the progression of this business in terms of the KPIs would look like.
Okay, but that's the next engine of growth, as you called it. And for safety and signaling, this is a new business vertical for you.
So again, we are already the leaders in the freight segment. We are establishing ourselves on the passenger segment. And if we really look at the railways complete ecosystem, you see, when we changed our whole focus from just being a wagon manufacturer to a rail systems provider, we had this in our mind that we should be end to end in terms of not the construction activity, but in terms of the system. So after the freight and the passenger, we believe that the kind of requirements that are there, both in terms of technology and in terms of quantity for the safety and signaling systems, it made immense sense for the company like us to be in that. We already have an MOU or a joint venture rather with a leader in this segment called Mermec, which was not very active. It was dormant over the last year or couple of years. So we have initiated that, and we've already started participating in the tender. So we believe that the kind of budget, even if you look at the budget allocation that happens from the railways, a substantial part is happening and will continue to happen on safety and signaling. So we believe that it is a segment that we should not give a miss to.
Okay. And just one final question then. Q3 was a bit muted. There were delays in execution. Has there been a pickup in execution in Q4? And what are you likely to end the year with?
So, in terms of the delays of execution and Q3, it's not relating to us because our capacities are already at 1,000 wagons a month, and we are fully on track to deliver 1,000 wagons a month. The problem happens because the railways were not able to give us the wheel sets, and this has been a perennial problem that has been existing for, I would say, decades. Ever since I came into this business, we've been having sporadic problems on wheels, and the Railway Ministry and the Government of India really took a definitive step for the first time in independent India, wherein they awarded a contract to set up a new wheel plant, which is being done by us and Ramakrishna Forging in a joint venture. So, of course, that will take its time to come in. It will take by 2026, it will start production. But for the time being, railways have been ramping up the production in their own rail wheel factory. It's not yet completely streamlined, or it's not become normal. We expect that in the next month, maybe March or April, wheel supplies from the railways will start getting normalized. But till then, we are continuing to have problems on availability of wheel sets.
Thank you, Umesh, for joining in. Look forward to the next one.